How would I have rewrote the sequel trilogies, even though I am not George Lucas? Well, guess what? I'm still better than Disney Star Wars. Hi, my name's King, and I am the King of Theories. And I will, in this video, give you a better version of what the sequel trilogies should have been. So, before we get into it, I hope you can take one small moment to press that like button, because it helps with the YouTube algorithm and gets this video to the eyes of many Star Wars fans just like yourself. And I also hope that you share it with many of your Star Wars friends that just wants to see Disney Star Wars get it right, like they're currently doing with the Skeleton Crew. So, without further ado, let's begin. First up, Rey. It always gets back to Rey. Like I said in a previous video, you can check out my Star Wars playlist to find it. I do not hate the Rey character. She was just written so poorly that her image is now synonymous with all things that is wrong with Disney Star Wars. Do you guys remember the fight between Kylo and Finn? And how Finn, even though he wasn't force sensitive, which was a mistake, we'll get into that later, was still able to at least keep up a little bit with Kylo Ren before Kylo showed him his place in the bigger picture? That should have been the fight between Kylo and Rey. And yes, Kylo and Rey fought many a times in this trilogy. But what I disliked about them making the Force so easy for her to conceive and be able to utilize is that it gave her no chances for growth. If the first fight between Kylo and Rey was her struggling and then even losing, but before Kylo could even, get the dead hit in, she was saved by either Finn or Poe in like a starship just blasting down, because Kylo might be strong with the Force, but like a surprise attack from a starship is still gonna, knock him out and, save Rey. That should have been how that fight ended, allowing Rey as a character to realize that, hey, even though I'm super strong in the Force, I can't really do anything unless I'm trained to actually be able to utilize Force tricks that in the movie she was just pulling out of her ass. Like her doing the mind trick, I will never get over because no one taught her that. She just did it. So that's why guys and girls have such a problem with Rey just being, I guess the new chosen one, because she didn't earn it. Anakin was the chosen one, but at least he earned it because he was trained by Obi-Wan and the other Jedis. Even though the movies never showed how much he was trained or how much he learned on his path to becoming a Master Jedi, at least we had the cartoon to fill in those gaps. But with Rey, she was just pulling out all of these Force powers like it was a game tutorial. So yeah, I would have had Rey lose to Kylo, but still be saved by either Poe or Finn, the friend she made along the way in the first movie, to show how powerful and useful friendship is. But have her, immediately want to find a Jedi Master to teach her the ways of the Force so she won't lose next time, which would have led into her finding Luke Skywalker thanks to R2-D2. And as a side note, I would also have Kylo have way less anger tantrums, because those scenes where he was destroying his own ships really lessened the character in the eyes of the audience and Star Wars fans. Even though he is still a really cool character, him being a grown man acting like a child when he doesn't get his way is, I feel like, a poor view of what being a dark side user is. Yeah, they are known to just, have fits of violence when things aren't going the way they want. At least with Darth Vader, when he, just starts force choking someone, it's subtle. It's just to really show that he's not playing around and that they need to start producing results or they will die, because he doesn't really care about their lives. With Kylo just destroying his own ship, with stormtroopers just looking at each other like, oh, here we go again, it just makes the character look like a fool, look like, yeah, someone who's deadly and a threat, but is just a pushover in the long run. So he would definitely be more mature and that much more of a menacing threat in my rewrite of the sequel trilogy. Next up, how I would have rewrote Luke Skywalker in the sequel trilogy, because the way he was portrayed was just garbage, man. It really spat on the image of what we all as Star Wars fans have when we think of Luke. And yeah, I can get that, oh, Kylo, one of your best pupils of this new generation of Jedi, turned against you and joined the dark side. It was basically like your father turning his back on the Jedi and, you know, creating this evil empire to take over the galaxy. You feel like you're stuck in a cycle. I can see how that can be depressing, but Luke is the best of us, so he shouldn't get depressed. He shouldn't give up hope, because he was the hope. And just to show that, oh, when you get older, you know, you become, you know, that much jaded about life and you give up so easily. No, screw that. Luke should have been the Master Jedi waiting to be found by a character like Rey, so he can bestow onto her the knowledge she needed to truly be a Jedi of her own to fight against the New Order. The First Order, I mean. Either way, I feel like, yeah, Luke, the stuff that happened between him and Kylo should have been written way better. Like, I feel like what they should have said, or what they should have wrote for the story, is that Kylo was always going to join the dark side. Like, he had a lot of strength inside him, but he wanted a lot more of it. Like, he wanted to become stronger, which made it easier for him to be seduced to the dark side, with Snoke sending him messages of, Luke will never give you the true teachings of the Force. He will never, you know, push you to where you need to be for you to be strong enough to truly bring peace and order to the galaxy. I mean, he turned against his own father, who joined the dark side to achieve this. His father being the strongest Force user. And he didn't even truly beat his father, which we all know he did, but we could have it where the way Luke told him about what happened between him and his father, and the way he would perceive it thanks to Snoke twisting his, you know, mind, is that, oh no, like, Darth Vader was the one who defeated Palpatine. Darth Vader was the one who brought the Jedi to their knees and nearly wiped them from existence. He became that much more powerful because of the dark side. So that's what I need to be if I'm going to truly bring order to this chaotic galaxy. And we could have the reason why Luke became a hermit was because he was on a serious journey to find the middle road of the Force, trying to, like, repeat what the Jedi did with having strict rules. Like, he would, like, come to the realization, no, like, at some point it always, you know, breaks apart, and, like, Force users that are supposed to be good just, you know, get corrupted by the dark side and, you know, become dark side Force users. So he was trying to find the ways to make a great Jedi, like, people who uses the Force, but, you know, neither for good or evil, just, you know, in the middle. And have him be so focused on his quest that he did neglect the universe, allowing the First Order to get as powerful as they did. But this is where Rey can come in to be like, no, regardless of what you're going after, the galaxy still needs you. It still needs Jedis to protect it. And this could get Luke back to his senses and be like, okay, Rey, I'm going to train you. I'm going to make you the perfect Jedi to crush the First Order. And while she's training with Luke, this is where you can have some character growth for the Finn character, where you can, like, reveal in the second movie of this rewritten sequel trilogy that he comes from the secret lineage of Mace Windu, giving him the name like Finn Windu, which could be really cool. And, you know, somehow throughout the movie, he gets his hands on a purple lightsaber. Like, I know this is just, like, kind of like biasy fan fiction writing, because a lot of us wanted Finn to be a Jedi, but it would just be so awesome if, you know, we could have, you know, I know some Star Wars fans are a little bit sick of it, but in my opinion, I love representation, and I would love for more black Jedis, specifically ones with a purple lightsaber like Mace Windu. I feel like Samuel L. Jackson could be cool with, you know, the actor of Finn, you know, getting his purple lightsaber and carrying on the torch of the Mace Windu character. I feel like that would be a nice, you know, in-between for his character, because, you know, maybe they can't bring him back into Star Wars, but they can say, hey man, you secretly had like a grandchild, and that grandchild got to carry on and inherit your purple lightsaber. I feel like that would be a nice middle road. And while we're at it, we could have the rewrite of the second movie reveal the secret origins of other characters such as Snoke and Rey, where Snoke in this rewrite wouldn't be a clone of Palpatine, but instead be the result of Palpatine back before the Empire's fall, trying to recreate Anakin, believing that they did it once, both him and his master Plagueis, manipulating the Force to give birth to the most powerful Force user, Anakin Skywalker. Why not do it again even without his master around, he is extremely powerful with the dark side of the Force, and he could produce an apprentice that's more powerful than his current one, who's now is filled with doubts and has like still a piece of Anakin within him. He believes that he can make a dark side user that's much more stronger than Lord Vader. With Palpatine utilizing the Empire's resources while keeping it a secret from Darth Vader, he experimented hoping to at least make one successful test subject, but instead got a bunch of failures that ended up dying before childbirth, and one surviving child but was born with a sickly body that could barely move, but was, as Palpatine hoped, was extremely powerful with the Force. So he kept that one alive, hoping that in time his medical staff and science team could give him a stronger body to make up for it. But Palpatine never got to see that day arrive. As we all know, he died by his apprentice's hands as he feared. But that child ended up escaping with the help of some stormtroopers, growing up to become Emperor Snoke. And as for Rey, it would have been revealed at the end of the rewritten second movie by Luke Skywalker himself that she was indeed a descendant of his former master, Obi-Wan Kenobi. And let's take a pause for Star Wars fans to rejoice. Okay, and here's why. Luke would have revealed to her that he did some background researching on his master after learning his true identity, and he would have found out on his many adventures that he secretly had that he met a woman and had one night of weakness where it led to the woman being impregnated, and the woman would have had a child, but wasn't able to stay with Obi-Wan on the planet and left for the stars, got into some debt and ended up having a child, but not wanting the child to end up in the hands of her debt collectors, ran away and hid somewhere. Luke was never able to find out where, but I guess the child ended up surviving where the mother didn't, thanks to the Force, and that child was Rey. You see, it has much thought put into it. It's logical. It makes sense. It doesn't make her a Palpatine. It's a good origin for a character like Rey to have that would make fans happy, and it makes sense so no one would fight against it. And the best part, Snoke isn't a Palpatine clone, and Rey isn't the grandchild of a Palpatine. And as for the third movie of this rewritten sequel trilogy, I would just have it be an epic conclusion of the good side versus the dark side, with Rey having learned everything from Luke Skywalker to become a fully fledged Jedi Knight, is ready to take on Emperor Snoke's ultimate apprentice, who has now, thanks to the time and training in the dark side, has fully surpassed his uncle Darth Vader, is just like ready for this final fight between good and evil. Except Rey is hoping for something more than just good versus evil. She's hoping to turn Kylo back to the light side, because in this rewritten trilogy, Han wouldn't have died by Kylo's hands. Leia would still be alive, though I know with the actress passing away, that could be a little bit difficult, but I would have made it for all of the original cast to still be alive, to sort of be the extra push that Kylo needs to, or rather the extra pull that Kylo needs to come back to the light side. With Rey stating that it doesn't matter if Kylo has darkness within him, because she would reveal that she has darkness within herself. You know, the hatred that she held for so long, thinking that her mother abandoned her, or that she didn't have a place in the universe, and that people only wanted to use her because she could utilize the Force. Like, no, she still loves her friends and wants to protect this universe, wants to protect all life in it, just the way she sensed Kylo does too. That was the only reason for him going to the dark side, was he was manipulated by Snoke into believing that's what it needed to happen for him to truly bring order and peace to the galaxy, the way Palpatine did with Anakin. But overall, showing that they don't need to be all light or all dark, they just need to protect the ones they care about, and that would make them the official Grey Jedi Order, going forward with Luke backing them. And then it would just be an epic final fight between them and Emperor Snoke, with Rey starting off trying to, tell Emperor Snoke the same thing, but with Emperor Snoke being born and raised in the dark side, he's too far gone, so all they can do is slay him and really try to like guide the galaxy into a new path that's filled with both freedom and peace. And that's it. That's how I would have rewritten the sequel trilogy. If you have your thoughts on, you know, what you would have preferred to see in a rewritten sequel trilogy, then please be free to comment so down below. Please like this video if you enjoyed it, like by pressing the like button, and share it with Star Wars fans. Ring that notification bell so you know first when I make more Star Wars videos like this. I just had this in my head for a really long time, and I felt like I needed to make a video to really show it and you see if other people agreed. Again, if you do agree, like, share, subscribe, and follow. And until the next Star Wars video, thank you for watching to the end. May the Force be with you, and always stay great.